What is going on, everybody? Welcome in. It's Cash It, Howard Bender, Adam Ronis. What's going on, Adam? I got no basketball now. I don't know how are you doing? How are you coping? Does the NBA draft kind of scratch that itch for you this week?
No, definitely not. Baseball does. Certainly not the fucking Mets.
Really? We're on that boat. Come on, Vogelbach's hitting home runs again.
No, dude, because the game's on now. Just let me rant on the Mets just for 1 second. I won't go too into it. I know we have been, but first inning for the New York Mets today, they load the bases with nobody out. Christian Javier cannot find the strike zone. He had already walked two guys, and the Mets scored no fucking runs. I mean, it just sums up their season. And the worst part is, so Alonso got called for running out of the baseline, and it was a legit call. So it turned into a double play. He check swings a ball in front of the plate. They get that force at home, throw to first. It hits him, goes down the line. He was out of the baseline. All right, fine. Second and third now. No, first and second, 2 out. Pham walks. Bases loaded with 2 out. First pitch, McNeil fucking swings and pops up. Like, you see the guy has no command. He just walked him out of the first pitch you're fucking swinging, and you hit a weak pop-up. So it's the same shit. They do this all fucking season long. And, they had the 2-game winning streak, and people get excited. They beat the Astros 11-1. What do they do? The next day, they do nothing. So I don't want to hear this shit because I still hear people saying, oh, well, the Phillies came back last year. No, man. Until the Mets win 10 out of 12 or put on a winning streak like the Reds, I don't want to hear shit because these 1-2 game winning streaks don't do nothing when you're 75 games under 500. This team sucks, bro. They're not coming back. I hope I'm wrong. I hope people can play my sound bites and be like, oh, remember what you said in June? I will gladly be wrong in this case if they pull off what the Phillies did. I don't see it happening at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough spot. It's absolutely a tough spot. So, listen, it's tough to have any kind of sympathy, when you get, Mets fans trolling Yankees fans, like needlessly trolling Yankee fans. Like, you've got enough of a mess in your house. And yes, if Anthony Aniano is listening right now,
why would you do that? Like, even when the Mets beat the Yankees one game, I didn't say shit to any Yankee fan. You know that? Did I say anything to you? No. Why do I? There's nothing to fucking say. They suck. They fucking suck. Like, come on, man. You got to be realistic here. I know there's certain fans who are very optimistic and they're cheerleaders. At some point, you got to fucking wake up and look at reality. This team is garbage. How can you? Oh, well, there's still time. It's June 21st. Come on, man. They fucking suck. It's every day. It's the same shit. They can't put together a winning streak. It's embarrassing, and it's always something. It's not like one thing. One day the starting pitching sucks. Again, the series in Atlanta, you have a 3-run lead in every game. You lose. Scherzer, I know he had a good game against Houston. Against the Yankees and the Braves, though, what happened? You give the lead back, and the team loses. The game against the Cardinals, they're down 5-1. They come back, tied at 5. Then they're down 7-5. They tie it again. And then, again, Buck Showalter making bad decisions. He let David Robertson pitch the 8th inning in that game. He did not throw a lot of pitches. You have Monday off. Why don't you go to him? Let him throw 2 innings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't worry about the next few days and resting guys. You got to win games now.
You would think Showalter as a veteran manager would be confident enough in a vet like Robertson to give him the what was it? It would have been a 5-out save, or
no?
Just
it was a tie game.
Inning?
It was a tie game. So he pitched the 8th. So just let him pitch the 9th. I mean, Adam Ottavino came in and give up a fucking home run. I mean, he sucks. I mean, that's also part of the problem. To be fair to Buck, at least with the bullpen, he can't. There's no confidence in anyone. It's Robertson. And Jeff Brigham has actually been one of the guys. Ottavino stinks. So they don't have a lot of options. Considering all the money they spend, they don't have a good bullpen. And their starting pitching is horrendous. They have one of the worst rotations in baseball. Their first inning woes are just, it's unbelievable when you look at the numbers. They can't score in the first inning, and they give up runs first inning every game. Every fucking game, they're down.
Well, that's baseball, Susan.
Nah, man, that's not. It's just, and I just watch this team every fucking day, and then I'm sitting here like, why am I doing this? But when you're a fan, you're a fan. I mean, I watch other games too when they're not on. But you're a fan. You're a fan. You can't help it. But it's just frustrating. It's one thing. It's one thing if you're losing and everything, but you're doing the fundamentals, playing hard and all that. But they're just such a dumb baseball team right now. The complete opposite of last year when they did every little thing right. And you have the same manager and almost the same team. That's what makes it it's mind-boggling how quickly they went from what they did last year to this year. And yes, you want to say they overachieved and they probably weren't as good. That's fair. I'll say that, but they played smart baseball. They were a fun team to watch. They're not fun anymore.
Yeah, and my Yankees really aren't any fun to watch either. I mean, it's yes, we've got a winning record, but I mean, no, it's no real picnic. We lose 2 in a row, we win 1, we lose 1, we win 1, we lose 1. We just came off of a 4-game losing streak. There's nothing worse than getting swept by the Red Sox. I mean, that makes my skin crawl. But I also feel like we're doing it with like this, patchwork group right now, which I guess takes the sting out a little bit. I mean, the fact that my outfield is Jake Bauers, Billy McKinney, and Harrison Bader, and it wasn't even Bader, it was Willie Calhoun before that. So my outfield is absolutely atrocious. We're still humping Josh Donaldson out there at the hot corner, and Anthony Volpe's really. It looks like pitchers have made the proper adjustments. They found like a little weakness, and he's not making any adjustments back. He looks a little overmatched, and so it's really tough. And I'm looking at my pitching, and it's like in and out with with a couple of injuries, and some back end guys don't look good, and sometimes they look real good. And at least there's optimism here. It's like Aaron Judge could come back soon. Carlos Rodon is starting to look good. I have optimism. You got your fucking best guys out there on the field already.
Yeah, I mean, the Yankees lineup is definitely surprising to see what they're running out there. But like you said, they have reinforcements on the way. The Mets really don't at this point. They got Alonso back surprisingly. I was stunned to see him come back on Sunday. So, yeah, pretty much there's really no one else that's going to help. Scherzer and Verlander are in the rotation. Verlander clearly not what he was last year, which is not surprising considering he's 40 years old and, had a long season coming off missing time with the Tommy John surgery. So, yeah. And, they're in a division where, they have some good teams. I mean, obviously we know how good the Braves are and they just keep winning like they usually do. Coming into Thursday, the Mets are 13 games out. I mean, it's just stunning. So, and the Phillies are starting to play better baseball as well. They've won 7 of 10 and the Mets have to go to Philly this weekend. Miami, surprisingly, is 9 games over 500 with Santi Alcantara pitching like absolute shit. He had another bad performance on Wednesday afternoon. So, yeah, it's just, again, I didn't think the Mets were going to win this division. You know that. We had this discussion before the year.
Yeah, we've been talking about the Braves for throughout, I don't know, the last 8 months.
Yeah. I mean, even last year, I thought the Braves were a better team, and you could sense them coming and overtaking the Mets. And when the Mets didn't show up in Atlanta, it wasn't surprising. So I thought all year the Braves were a better team, but I never thought that this team would be 5 games under 500 here in late June. It's just embarrassing. And something needs to be done. I understand Cohen doesn't want to overreact and make a rash change, but you got to do something. You can't let it. It's not changing. It's not getting better. It's the same bullshit every fucking day. There's nothing changing with this team. So what are you going to do? Just let it continue? You got to do something.
You do have to do something. It'll be very interesting to see. Obviously, the trade deadline at the end of July. We're coming up on the All-Star break in a couple of weeks. So maybe, that kind of does like a, clear your head kind of thing, stop, regroup, really take, some analysis in there and see. It should be very interesting to see how things go over the course of the next. I think the 2 weeks before, the 2 weeks right after the All-Star break really kind of determine, what we're going to see at the trade deadline, who the buyers are, who the sellers are. So I kind of lean on that. I'll tell you what, let's, so we don't have to talk negatively about our teams. Because, Adam and I are lollipops, rainbows, and sunshine all the time. That's why you guys come and listen to the podcast, because you're like, this is the 2 most jovial men we've ever sat and listened to, and we get that. So I don't want to go negative here with your Mets or my Yankees or anything like that. Let's talk positive. MLB. Does it get any better with the Cincinnati Reds right now? I mean, we'll ooze on a little fantasy deliciousness on that, but let's talk about the Reds. Let's talk about the fact that they are now. I didn't even look at the odds today, but I think last night I saw that suddenly the Reds were like a plus 325 favorite to win that plus 325 to win that Central Division. They're super exciting. They're super young. They've got a great leader back in Joey Votto right now. I mean, I'm talking to Jim Bowden, and Jim Bowden, obviously, Reds general manager for years. His first job as the general manager, the youngest GM in the history of MLB at 31. So he's got like those proud papa vibes, even though, he hasn't drafted any of these players, these young players, but he actually is a big part of, Joey Votto being with the Reds. So he's got that just that vibe right now. Fucking Reds, dude. I got to tell you, man, if the pitching gets healthy and Nick Krall goes out and gets himself a frontline starter, this team is going to be a lot of fun for the playoffs.
Yeah, look, I think they're a fun team. There's no question about it. I'm still not sure if they're going to make the playoffs. And obviously they have to win the division. They've won 10 straight going into Wednesday afternoon. And as we're recording, they're up 5-3 going to the ninth. I'm pretty sure Alexis Diaz is not available. He threw like 31 pitches on Tuesday. They were down 3-0 in this game and came back. Jake Fraley with a home run. He's been really good. The problem is if you're in a weekly league, I think they had 3 lefties this week. I had to bench him in labor, because, if you're in a weekly league and he's going to play 3, yeah, he can pinch hit and everything. I just can't do it in a 12-team league. 15-team league, even 15, it's tough. So it sucks, but there'll be a week.
You want Jake Fraley and Luke Raley on your team so that you can mix and match with the two of them. But between the two of them, you'll get somebody who plays every day.
Yeah, potentially. But it's got to be a daily league. If it's a weekly league, then it's tough to really play either.
Correct.
Because you need those at bats. So I have Fraley on the bench this week in labor. So I didn't look at the schedule next week, but hey, maybe they get 6 righties, then he goes back in the lineup. But I think the issue with now, look, they're a great story. Everyone's talking about them. I still think they have major concerns with this pitching staff. And, part of the reason they've had success recently in this schedule, but they beat some good teams too. It's not like they're just beating up on the Rockies at home. If they win this series, they just swept the Astros. And I know the Astros are struggling right now and in 3rd place, but still to sweep the Astros is a big deal. They swept the Royals. Hey, you're doing what you're supposed to do. You took 2 out of 3 from the Cardinals, who suck unless they play the Mets. And they did their job there. They took 2 or 3 from the Dodgers. So this team is on a roll right now. They're playing good baseball. They're fun. Obviously, they called a lot of their youngsters up. Ellie De La Cruz came up. Mac McClain came up. Abbott, who finally allowed a run. The first batter of the game, Brenton Doyle, with a leadoff home run. But we knew Abbott was going to give up some runs. Sure. Hunter Green just went on the IL, though. That's kind of a big loss. Lodolo's still out. So that's my main concern. But the division, as we've talked about for a few weeks, I think when we last spoke, they were plus 800 to win the division. Now it's plus 390.
Plus 390, yeah.
Yeah, Brewers are still favored. Brewers obviously have had their issues as well. Do they get Brandon Woodruff back? Burns has pitched a lot better outside of his last start when he got bombed. Peralta has been up and down. Their lineup's been inconsistent. They still have a bunch of good veterans. So it's not a lock that the Reds win the division. I know everyone's excited and they're the talk of baseball, and it's good for baseball, man. I mean, they're more fun than my team right now than the Mets. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. It's like I'm sitting here and like, if you would have said, hey, the Reds, Marlins will have a better record than the Mets on June 21st, I probably would have lost a lot of money. Even though I wasn't that confident in the Mets. Hopefully I wouldn't have put it down. That would have been a disaster. But they're a fun team right now, and they're having a really good year, and everyone's going to start. They're kind of America's team now. I think everyone's rooting for them.
I think everybody's rooting for them as well. And I mean, that's the thing, you nail it with the pitching. The hitting has been absolutely adorable, right? You got Votto now at first, which pushes Spencer Steer into the outfield, although Steer played 3rd base today because they gave Matt McClain the day off. I mean, it's just, but you've got Votto at first, India at 2nd, Ellie De La Cruz at short. third base is, or Matt McClain at short, and Ellie De La Cruz playing third. You put Steer in the outfield. Nick Senzel. Come on, let's a little rejuvenated Nick Senzel, and then whatever. I don't know, Fairchild or whoever's going to play center field for them. I guess Senzel can play center field for them.
I think Senzel's only going to play against left-handed pitching. That's the way it seems. He started yesterday. He didn't start today, so I think he's really going to be hurt here. That's the problem too right now. And remember, they're still Encarnacion Strand in the minor leagues, but they're kind of at a roster crunch right now. I mean, they released Will Myers, which they kind of had to do. He was doing nothing anyway.
What do you mean they have a roster crunch? They don't have a roster crunch. They got some great shit going on here.
What I'm saying, they don't have room for Encarnacion Strand right now.
No. I mean, yeah, the only time I think that you bring him up is if Votto suddenly completely goes in the tank. But I mean,
the Reds just extended their win streak to 11. Buck Farmer with the save.
Buck Farmer. Friedel, Will Benson's kind of come to life a little bit here too. So I mean, and like you said, Fraley there over at DH. Yeah, they've got this is fun. So I mean, it's about the pitching. It's all about the pitching. And, they've got a decent farm system. They're not going to give up one of these kids, and they're not going to give up Encarnacion Strand, but they still have a decent farm system. So then it's like, all right, well, who are the pitchers who are going to be available come the trade deadline?
Scherzer.
I mean, Scherzer would be interesting if Scherzer could show that he's back to being a strikeout pitcher and he's not fucking pitching to so much contact. Because that's what I think. You either need like a super strong ground ball ace, somebody who's just got killer, like a 50% ground ball rate or higher. Like if you get somebody like that, or you just get a high strikeout pitcher, who can handle the ballpark and pitch with confidence, man, I don't see why you don't have, why you don't make that move. I mean, I just don't know who's going to be available for them to do that, who could end up being that team, that player. I mean, do you make a pitch to bring Sonny Gray back?
I was just going to say that's the guy they could use that they traded away last year.
Yeah.
I mean, the Twins are still in contention in that shitty Central in the other league. So,
yeah, but I mean, it would be so. All right. So no there. Would the Giants consider trading Logan Webb if they fall out of it?
Yeah, I mean, they're also one of the hottest teams right now.
Right. Yeah, but again, shit cools off.
But you got the extra playoff spot. That's going to keep teams in longer, man. Because remember, we're about a little over a month away from the deadline, so that keeps teams in, man. That's the only issue. There's not really a lot. The problem is there's not going to be a lot of teams out of it. Okay, so you got the AL East. The Red Sox are 4 games above. I mean, unless they fall apart, they're going to think they're in it. The Central, as bad as the White Sox are, they're 4.5 out of first. So the Royals are out of it. There's no pitchers you want on that team.
What are you talking about, man? Brady Singer, he's the best.
AL West, you got the A's dead last. There's no one desirable there. I mean, do the Mariners fall way back? I mean, they're 9 games behind the division.
But I mean, are the Mariners going to, the Mariners will be like, all right, we got Marco Gonzalez for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? They're not going to trade Gilbert or Kirby.
I mean, it's crazy. I don't know if they'll do it, but the Mets might become sellers, man. It might get to the point where they're sellers. I know they don't want to.
Interesting. Justin Verlander,
yes,
or Scherzer. Like if the Reds, can you imagine if the Reds picked up either Scherzer or Verlander?
Scherzer would allow 3 home runs a game in that park.
Billion home runs, dude. A billion.
I mean, did the Cardinals fall out of it? I mean, it's not like they have great pitchers anyway.
Because I don't want Jack Flaherty or Miles Michaelis. That doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah, and Wainwright's at the end. Look, there probably will be a team that falls. But yeah, I mean,
what about Stroman from the Cubs? You think the Cubs would give up Stroman?
There's been, they're right there though too. They're winning again today.
Yeah, 3.5 out.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. It doesn't seem like there's going to be a lot. Then the Padres are 4th, but they've started to play better, although they lost a couple recently. But they're going to think they're still in it. at least in the wild card too. And the Diamondbacks, I don't think keep this pace up. I mean, they need another pitcher too. Like they have to get a pitcher. They have nothing behind Gallen and Merrill Kelly.
Well, I got to tell you that. See, and that, like I said, the 2 weeks before, the 2 weeks after the All-Star break are going to be absolutely crucial. Like what the Reds need is the Reds need somebody to go on this horrendous losing streak over the next couple of weeks. Like a really just a and like a team that's in contention that has some pitching that they could move. Like if the Cubs were to lose like 12 out of the next 15 games.
Yeah, Stroman would be
that would
great.
help.
Stroman would be great in that park. He's an extreme ground ball pitcher too.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, geez, that would be sick. That would be fun because the Reds are an exciting team. And you know what though? Like little slice of me when I was growing up and I was doing like book reports and shit like that. It was always, obviously it was all Yankee related, but I had to mix it up and it was about the Big Red Machine. Always been, I've always had a soft spot for the Reds. And how about this? You ready for this one here? Bowden hit me with this one. I thought it was absolutely hysterical. When gambling became legal in Ohio, one of the casinos had Pete Rose make the very first bet, like legal bet at the casino. And he bet the fucking Reds to win the World Series and he could stand to win $3 million from year. That bet. Yeah.
Wow. Oh my God. How ironic would that be?
That would, I would fucking love it. That would be just the most amazing thing. Banned from baseball and wins $3 million on a bet in Ohio. Yeah. I mean, when did Ohio legalize? Like 3 months ago, 4 months ago?
Yeah, I think so.
So yeah, I mean, he was the first one in the casino who did that. So I thought that was pretty fucking great. Give it up for Charlie Hustle, baby. Give it up for Charlie Hustle. All right, so baseball completely occupying your time. No NBA. Do you have any interest in the NBA draft? Do you watch the NBA draft? Do you know the players? Have you scouted the players at all?
Not a lot of them, no. Not at the back end. So, I mean, I'll follow it. There's only 3 baseball games on Thursday night, and I'll be on the air anyway, so we'll be following it. Baseball, just a weird schedule on Thursday. I mean, we know teams are off, and is it the Cardinals and the Cubs are going to London, so they're off Thursday and Friday, so they're playing in London Saturday and Sunday. But yeah, there's only 3 games Thursday night. It's Royals, Rays. I mean, McClanahan's pitching. Pirates, Marlins. Good matchup though. Mitch Keller and Braxton Garrett, and then Yankees, Mariners with Wu against Herman. So, I mean, yeah, the NBA draft will probably take the spotlight there because there's just not much going on in baseball that night.
You should parlay a no hitter for Shane McClanahan with Wembanyama is the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah, someone put a bet of what was it like? It was like 40,000 to win 300. I'm like, okay, for what, Wembanyama number 1 pick? I mean, look, he's going to be the number 1 pick, but what if something crazy happens?
I mean, if my question is if you've got that kind of money to throw out, then what does the $300 mean? Like if you're willing to just say, you know what, all right, $4,000 to win 300, like how much do you really need that $300?
Probably not much. I mean, a profit is a profit, but again, it's like, okay, yes, we all know he's going number 1. Great. But do you really want to risk it in case that 0.001% chance happens? Where they find out Wembanyama is involved with Zion Williamson and the porn star, and then no, I'm just kidding.
Dude, if I have to hear about Zion Williamson one more time, so I do the Better Morning show, over on the Better Sports Network, and Corey's in there, and for the first 2 episodes we've talked hoops, and I'm like, I'm like, why am I talking hoops right now? This is like the day after the Super Bowl when when a dynasty fantasy football person hits you up the day after the Super Bowl and is like, all right, I gotta talk about my protects right now. Right? It's like, come on, can we just, the finals just happened, the Nuggets won. Can we just kind of let it marinate a little bit? But been talking about Zion a bunch. I don't think he's going anywhere. Do you think he's going? The Pelicans really going to trade Zion?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's the big thing for the NBA draft night is the trades, because you have a Portland team that has a third pick that wants to keep Damian Lillard and, build a team that they can make a push with him. So you're hearing that he could be dealt. So I think that's the big thing to watch. And then there's rumors circulating today about Kristaps Porzingis being dealt. So I think that's really what's the draft. Yes, you have some of the talented players up top, but some of these trades, are they going to come to fruition? I think that's the big thing to watch.
Yeah, that's really the only reason that you would kind of tune in for it. I mean, we know. I mean, what is it? It's like the first. How many first round picks do we look at and say that these guys are the be all end all, or is it just the fact that it's the first round rookies are always great and nobody just cares about the second round and beyond?
I mean, the second round. I mean, you get occasional players that kind of come out of nowhere, so, but usually it's mostly the first round.
Okay. So anybody in the first round even pique your interest, or you just really, it's just a matter of, you'll just watch the draft for the sake of watching it and leave it at that?
Yeah. I mean, the top 3 picks obviously are the ones everyone's watching, with Scoot Henderson. Now there's a lot of talk that he might go 3 and Miller will go 2 because Charlotte has LaMelo Ball, but if I'm drafting, I take the best player. I don't care if I have a point guard and there's another big point guard. You figure it out or make a trade down the road, but take the best player. That's the way I look at it for the NBA. So that's something to keep an eye on, because I think Scoot Henderson was favored to go 2. Now it's flipped. So a lot of talk is coming out that Charlotte's going to take Miller. And then there's a couple other intriguing guys. Again, landing spot's a big deal. The coaching staff, how they develop. So there's always a few guys that surprise and kind of are under the radar that emerge.
Is there a team in particular who just routinely fucks up their draft?
Maybe the Knicks could be in the category.
Or what? Are you still going to talk? Are we still talking about Frederick Weiss? Come on, man.
No. Charlotte tends to at times.
Like, yeah, I was going to say, who really fucks up the draft? Like, that's what I want. If I'm going to watch any of this draft, then I want like shit that's going to fuck things up. Like, people are going to do stupid things. Is there a team that is you think is so crazy desperate to move up they could do something crazy? Is there a team that was like looking at Bryce at Miller and being like, ooh, like we'll trade with them for the second pick, they'll take Miller, we'll be happy, and then and then give a bunch of shit? Who's ready to move up? Who's ready to make some action here?
I mean, again, the Pelicans could be that team with everything that's going on there. Portland obviously is a team that could trade that pick to get a more established player to put around Lillard. Washington probably could be active after they dealt Beal again. And now I'm seeing rumors today about Porzingis being dealt. Boston could be involved in something. So, yeah, I mean, but a lot of this too. You see it in every sport, like all these rumors happen and then out of nowhere, oh, I didn't hear anything about that. And then it happens. So.
All right, man. Well, I mean, I hope it's an exciting draft. I hope it's fun. If it's not, I'm telling you what, man, if it's not exciting within the first 5 or 6 picks, I'm just, it's going to be hard enough for me to like actually sit and pay attention to the draft anyway. But I figure I'll pay it some mind here. Dan Servadidio is writing all these great pieces over at Fantasy Alarm talking about the draft because he's, Mr. Joe College basketball. But yeah, I need some excitement. I do. The big question on everybody's mind right now is when. I mean, obviously, we talk a little baseball, we talk a little bit, a little basketball here, a little NBA draft. We got to do it, Adam. It's starting. Usually we're used to this not happening until the 4th of July, when everybody and their grandmama start turning to the NFL. I guess the question on everybody's mind right now is, when will Adam Ronis release his fantasy football rankings in the Fantasy Alarm NFL Draft Guide?
I don't know. We haven't discussed that, so I don't know.
I'm discussing it with you right now.
All right. I don't know. You tell me.
Well, I want to know when you're ready for that. Listen, mine are out. Andrew Cooper's are out. We want your rankings. We love your rankings. I figured, okay, let's let basketball finish for him. Let him kind of decompress a little bit, get into baseball, kind of work that swing, and then see when he's feeling like he's ready to do some NFL rankings. I always like to make sure that you're comfortable, Adam, that, I'm not being like, not under the gun here. I want the care and the love to go into the rankings all the time.
Yeah, I'm good to go.
Well, fantastic, man. It's all ready for you on the website. So whenever you're ready, let me know. We'll make it all happen. We'll do a big launch party. We'll like crack some champagne. We'll eat a little caviar, smoke a few. Yeah. Feel good about that. You're obviously inundated with all the football news. I'm sure, you're kind of walking around here looking at, DeAndre Hopkins. Where's he going to land? Dalvin Cook. Where's he going to land? Any thoughts on what's going on, the current state of the NFL?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the landing spot's going to be pretty important, especially with Hopkins. Does he go to a team like Buffalo where you got a Diggs there? Does he go? You've heard New England as a rumored team, Kansas City. So a lot's going to depend on where he lands. I thought, he came back and looked pretty good last year. I was a little worried because 2 years ago I thought he was slowing down. He had a bad second half, but he got a lot of volume in Arizona. He's going to need that volume to continue to have top fantasy value. And Dalvin Cook's going to be really interesting as well to see where he lands. I mean, he did have some breakaway runs last year, but some of the underlying metrics showed he slowed down a little bit. And clearly Minnesota didn't want him there. He wants to get paid, and we know how it is for running backs. You've heard Miami as the rumor. That would be pretty bad because they have all those backs there already. So, yeah, I mean, right.
But wouldn't you think that of course, that Dalvin Cook would get the lion's share of the carries? That, you've got Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson, who you could mix in. Rookie Devin A-Chain, maybe he just kind of sits and he learns a little bit, or maybe they trade away one of these like veteran backs. Wouldn't you think that if you were bringing in Dalvin Cook, that he'd be your primary ball carrier?
On that team, he should. I would think so.
Okay. I would think on Miami he would also. One of the things that we were, did you hear what DeAndre Hopkins said the other day?
Something about how whatever team he goes to, he'll make everyone better. Something like that, right?
Well, I mean, he did say that. He said, wherever I go, the other receiver is just going to get better. So, that was a great comment there, which, listen, it is true. He will draw that coverage, and that other receiver, if it's a solid passing game, will do it. I'm talking about the fact that he wants to do like the Marvel team up, and he wants him and Dalvin Cook to go together to a team.
Kind of good luck with that.
Which I thought was, really kind of funny. So, obviously went exploring a little bit to see, what teams had the salary cap ability to do that. You bring in Cook on a short-term deal, like on a 1-year deal. You bring Hopkins in on a 2-year, 3-year deal, whatever you want to do with that. And to see which teams had it. And it was really kind of interesting where it was. I think the most positive landing spot that somebody said was actually, it would be Miami if something happened to Tyreek Hill. That would be obviously spot number one. Spot number two, somebody said the Bears. Khalil Herbert doesn't pass block. Roshan Johnson's a rookie. You've got you brought in Deonta Foreman, but I mean, whatever is that, your bread and butter, and you give Justin Fields that supportive ground game there, and you give him another weapon in Hopkins.
I don't see that happening.
I don't see it happening either.
I don't see it.
I'm having some fun with it. I'm opining a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think both go to the same team. It's nice that they thought about that, but I don't see that happening.
I don't see it happening either, but a girl can dream.
Oh, definitely. And nothing wrong with dreaming.
And what was kind of funny though is if there was one place where I actually thought that it would be really kind of cool, again, sucks for me as a Jets fan, but New England has the cap space to do it. You make Dalvin Cook, you bring him in on a 1-year deal, you make him your pass catching back.
They don't need Dalvin Cook with Stevenson.
I'm saying they've got Pierre Strong and they've got Ty Montgomery, and there's a lot of talk about, those idiots being third down pass catching backs. Even though Ramondre Stevenson, he's like fucking Nick Chubb. They don't want to throw it to him for whatever reason, but he's the primary running back. So imagine this, because they are talking to Hopkins, as a possibility there, even though it's for less money than what Odell Beckham signed for in Baltimore, but whatever that is. But imagine what that offense does then, because it's built off of a power run game. That's Erhart Perkins does that, has that, that scheme. So you put Ramondre is like your primary between the tackles guy. You just use Cook as like your pass catching back. And then you fucking add DeAndre Hopkins. If that were ever happened, I might even think about drafting Mac Jones as a third quarterback in a super flex.
I know the market will dictate things, but Dalvin Cook's not going to want to be in that situation.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And Stevenson's a really good pass catching back too.
I like him a lot here. It's and maybe it's just the fact that Coop is listening to too much, local media in Boston, but he came out with like a Ty Montgomery take about, third down pass catching. And I was like, ugh, like that, if they're thinking about doing that, then why the fuck not? Go overpay instead of sitting in last place in the AFC East.
Isn't that going to be the Jets?
Hey,
I'm just kidding.
Why you got to be that way?
Well, how do you feel about the Jets having such high expectations?
I don't have high expectations.
Oh, you don't? So what do you think? They're third place in the division?
I mean, as it stands right now, yeah. If Tua is healthy, I mean, especially if Miami gets Dalvin Cook.
Tua's not staying healthy. You know that.
Well, then, I don't know. Who's their backup now?
Is it, no.
Is it still Skylar Thompson?
Is it Teddy Bridgewater or he's gone?
Oh, God, I hope it's not Bridgewater. If it's Bridgewater, then no. Then the Dolphins are finishing third behind the Jets. Jets will be second. Buffalo will be first. I got to see who the backup is because yeah.
Well, it's not Teddy Bridgewater. He's still a free agent.
Oh, what a shame. Teddy Bridgewater's still a free agent. I can't throw it downfield. Oh, shit. How's this for paybacks a bitch in the karma world?
Oh, Mike White. Yes. You said that and I was like, that's right. He's there.
Welcome to being a Jets fan. High expectations with Aaron Rodgers coming to town, the reunion of Rodgers and Nathaniel Hackett, yippity fucking doo-dah. And then we end up falling behind in the division to Miami as Mike White takes over under center. Like takes over for the second half of a game against the Jets. Miami comes from behind. White leads that charge. And then boom, 7-game win streak for the fucking Dolphins.
Hey, look, you know me. I'm rooting for the Jets outside of week 2 because they go to Dallas in week 2. But yeah, did you see the Jets schedule to open the year?
Yeah, I thought I did.
Dude, it's so brutal. So they're home to the Bills. I think it's a Monday night game too. Then they are in Dallas, home to the Patriots, home to the Chiefs, at Denver, home to Philly. The Giants host the Chargers.
That's a fucking gauntlet, dude.
It really is, man.
That's a gauntlet. I mean, yeah, the Jets have I think if you're looking at strength of schedule, they're like the bottom 5.
It definitely looks like when you look at the schedule. I mean, they do get the Raiders, the Falcons, and the Texans, but that's in the second half.
Right. So that's what we're trying to accomplish. We're going to try to be 4-4 through the first 8 weeks. And then we go on that big second half win streak.
Yeah. I mean, look, we talked about it. The AFC is so tough. That's where all the good quarterbacks are, man. Like you need to stay healthy. You need to get the bounce of the ball. It's going to be really difficult in the AFC to be a division winner or even a wild card. That's where all the good quarterbacks are. I mean, if you go up and down the rosters and you look at the quarterbacks, you're like, my goodness, man, there's really not many weaknesses. Not many teams have a bad quarterback in the AFC.
No, they really don't. It's going to be a tough year. It's going to be a very, very tough year. I mean, you know what, though? It's going to be entertaining, at least. I mean, let's say Rodgers stays healthy all year. Let's say he gets along great with the rest of the team and the team is successful. Then you're putting, I mean, that's pretty insane in the AFC when you look at it. You know, if you think about the Bills, the Dolphins, the Jets, the Patriots, Ravens, Bengals, Browns, respectable. Could be even better than respectable if Deshaun Watson, tilts back. I think the Jaguars are a great fucking team this year. Denver, we'll see what happens with Sean Payton and Joe Lombardi working that offense. But then you got the Chiefs and the Chargers. That's a tight situation. That is a lot of great teams vying for not enough playoff spots.
Yeah, no question about it. I mean, every team in that AFC North could be good. I know Pittsburgh has some question marks, but they were 9-8 last year. And, I think Kenny Pickett will be better. I mean, I don't like Matt Canada as the offensive coordinator, but they have talent on that team. I think Cleveland will be better. You have to understand Watson missed a whole year of football, basically a year and a half. So, yes, there was some rust, but like what they've done. So that whole division, all those teams could be good. The only weak division is the AFC South, obviously. I think everyone's going to pick Jacksonville to win the division, which is the kiss of death usually. Right? I mean,
usually, always, man. It's always.
Again, I mean, who's not going to pick Jacksonville to win the division after what happened last year? But we know how this goes. So, right? I mean, there's going to be like a couple people who just be like going off the board and be like, oh, I'm not picking Jacksonville. Everyone is. So I'll take Tennessee because Vrabel's a great coach, or the Colts because Richardson's going to be the real deal. But I don't see how people don't pick Jacksonville.
I don't see how they don't either, which makes me, again, I'll bet I'd rather bet the Colts or the Titans. I'll bet their odds.
Oh yeah, the odds are going to be way better on them.
Yeah, it's oh my God, that was always when Mish and I doing the Westgate Super Contest. We immediately look at the consensus picks as soon as they get released, and we're like, oh, fuck, we got 2 of them in there. We're screwed.
Yeah, got to change. So, yeah, looking at the odds now for the AFC South on DraftKings, Jags -165, Titans +425, Colts +550, Texans +750.
I'm going to it right now.
Man, it's crazy. The AFC North, like, +140 Bengals, +240 Ravens, +425 Browns, +450 Steelers. So all of them that tight, man. And the NFC North is similar, and the South. I mean, there's only, the biggest long shot, which not surprising, is the Cardinals at +2,500 to win their division.
That's those are the biggest odds. I'm trying to pull them up here.
Yeah, +2,500 Cardinals, Washington +1,100, Raiders +1,100. Those are the longest odds, and I don't think anyone would feel comfortable placing a wager on any of those teams.
No, probably not. Somebody will, because there's always a moron out there. All right. Well, listen, I like this. Now we can, we'll cruise through, we'll be able to like zip through the this podcast doing some NFL futures. We could do some win totals. We'll do some futures as we cut through and carry you guys through your fantasy baseball championships. How are your teams doing?
Mostly good. I mean, Tout Wars, I've made a huge run. There's a team I think I told you that has been having like 127, 128. I got as close as 4, getting up to 122. Let me check out. Oh, I had Christian Javier today. He sucked. Oh damn, yeah, I dropped. So I'm at 119. Dropped 3.5 today. He's at 127.5. But my team has come on pretty strong to get back in the hunt. My team in Labor's in second place. FSGA has been, I think, tied for first. Let me see. Oh, I'm in first now by 1. Labor, second place.
You're in first in your FSGA league?
Yeah, by
Good
1.
Job.
Second in Labor, second in Tout. TGFBI sucks. My main event team in the NFBC, third place in the league. GST first. So overall, it's been pretty good. I do have a couple bad teams. My NFBC online championship team sucks. My TGFBI team sucks. And I just lost McKenzie, Cobb. So, I mean, look, I will keep setting my lineup, but I cut McKenzie actually before the news. I cut him on Sunday. I knew the news wasn't going to be good. I'm like, he's already been hurt. He's got an elbow. They're saying at least a month. My guess is longer. There's no IL spots in that league, as you know. So I cut him. I'm holding on to Cobb and Chris Bryant. I mean, Chris Bryant's always hurt. I probably won't draft him next year. I keep saying I won't draft Eloy next year either, and now he's starting to hit. But yeah.
Man, I just realized I dropped my my Diamondbacks first 5-inning run line bet. Damn it, the Brewers. How the fuck did this happen? Wait, can we Julio Teheran?
Dude, I know.
Seriously?
I put him in the waiver wire article once. I said, look, he keeps pitching well. I don't think it continues. It's your own risk, but I don't know how the hell he is fucking doing this, man. He doesn't have good stuff. He doesn't strike guys out. He doesn't get swings and misses, and he just keeps pitching well, man. And this Arizona team obviously is really good. I mean, he's got Corbin Carroll 0 for 3. He's walked 4.
I was like, come on, Gallen versus Teheran. I was like, I'm sorry. Just luck had to run out for him. And yeah, I mean, this is crazy. Fucking Raimel Tapia with the home run. Fucking look what I found home run off of Gallen. Come on.
I mean, okay, so Teheran has faced San Fran, Toronto, in Cincinnati, Oakland, Pittsburgh, and Arizona. And he's allowed 2 earned runs or fewer in every start. It's mind-boggling what he's doing. And I know people probably, I think the smart players haven't picked him up, and then they're sitting here like, what is going on here?
I am upset.
Well, how about me? Well, again, you're going to tell me, well, you shouldn't have done a parlay, but I did a 4-leg parlay. The one losing leg today was Vladimir Guerrero. I needed 1 total base from him. Every player on the Blue Jays had at least 1 total base, except Vlad Guerrero.
Dude, that happened. You know what, though? That happened to me last night with Jonathan India and the night before with Matt McClain. Everybody around him easily cleared. I had the 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBI. Everybody around him fucking did it, except my guy.
It's the worst, man, when that happens, right? It's like, oh, okay, so everyone except my guy. Cool. I appreciate that.
Son of a bitch. Oh, my God. Oh, crap. All right. Well, now I got to go and check out some bets for later on tonight and love on that one a little bit. Damn those Diamondbacks. Damn it. Julio Teheran. This is upsetting. All right. Well, I got nothing left, and I got to go and do another show here. So surprisingly, Adam, you and I are going to sign off here under an hour-long podcast. It's the first in I don't know how long, man. Does it upset you? Do you want to yammer on for 9.5 more minutes?
It's definitely surprising, and a lot of people lost bets if they took the under. If they took the over, which they always do. So A lot of people going broke, and they're going to think we set this up and are in on it with the books.
What? What are you talking about?
I'm saying people bet the over on whatever the number is.
On that Arizona game?
No, bro, forget it. I said for people who bet the minutes
bet the
on this
over
podcast.
For us to go over an hour.
I know you're distracted by that Diamondbacks loss, and Julio Torres fucked you up.
It's really fucked me up, man. My head, my brain is a pretzel, Adam. It's a fucking pretzel right now.
I see.
Now I get what you were saying. And yes, I heard a little something about some action sprinkled on the over on an hour podcast, and I'm going to fuck y'all out of those bets like Julio Teheran just fucked me out of mine. Son of a bitch. Well, at least I won my first 5 innings on the Blue Jays. So come see, come saw. What are you going to do? Shit happens. Go Cardinals. That's what I'll have to say for the rest of my afternoon. On that note, big thank you to all of you for listening, liking, and subscribing. Adam, the rankings are yours. You let me know when you're ready, and we will announce it to the world. Adam Ronis' fantasy football rankings coming soon. Not to mention his waiver wire article for fantasy baseball coming out on Saturday. For Adam Ronis, I'm Howard Bender. This has been the Cash It Podcast, and we will catch you next time.